you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure that you are worried about your life, worried about how things will end up, worried about what life has stored in for you, and how to solve the endless problems that you are facing. But don't worry, you are at the right place. So first of all, sit down and take a deep breath because I have got you covered. So in this video, we are going to learn to manage stress step by step. So first things first, let me define what stress is. So according to Google, stress is the body's natural involuntary reaction to any demand, threat or challenge, creating physical and mental tension. It triggers the flight or fight response, releasing hormones like adrenaline and cortisol to help you cope with immediate pressure. While short-term pressure can motivate, long-term pressure can harm your health. So I wanted to know that stress is not the same. There are types of stress and two major broad classification of stresses: eustress and distress. So eustress means a little amount of stress. So it is the stress which is good for you. Like eustress motivates you to work. For example, exam pressure. So you study for exam because of that pressure, which is an example of eustress. So then we have distress. So distress is described as bad stress. It is a stress which can harm your health. It is not good for your body at all. Stress triggers the sympathetic nervous system, which is also known as the flight or fight response. So it releases the cortisol, which is also known as the stress hormone. So as I said, we need that hormone like to cope with the situation at that moment. But if the cortisol continues to be in your body for a longer period of time, it will harm your body because it is not good for your body at all. So stress also releases the hormone called adrenaline, which will help you to manage the stress in the short term. So these are the two main hormones which is released due to stress responses in our body. So the thing is that this is an emergency response. The flight or fight response is an emergency response. So our body's response will start to deplete if we continue to be in that state for a longer period of time. So that's where the problem starts. That's where the phrase "be like zebras" comes in. So I've mentioned it in the thumbnail of the video if you have noticed. So let me talk about that. So a study was conducted by a researcher called Robert Sapolsky. So also wrote a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. So it is a book on stress and stress related diseases. In that book he says zebras are stressed when they're chased by lions or any other carnivores, but the moment they escape, they'll forget about the stressor. They don't carry that burden with them. But what do? We keep thinking, we keep reliving about the stressor again and again, and it will come to a point that it is impossible to forget about the stressor. Through this book, he proves the point that accumulation of stress in your body will manifest as physical illness. Stress can create physical illness. Stress is not a mental problem, it is related to your body. Clearly, we don't want to create any more physical illnesses by accumulating the stress that we carry with ourselves. So, we are going to tackle this problem step by step. So, first things first, we want to identify what is causing the stress. We want to identify the stressor. So, there are a couple of ways to do it. So, my favorite ones are to either journal or talk to your loved ones about the problem. So, these essentially helps you to avoid overthinking, because when you verbalize your thoughts, a lot of things becomes clearer and you realize that it's just overthinking. So my point here is to let your thought out from here, because when you hold your things or your thoughts here, it can feel a lot more heavy. But the moment you let these thoughts out, or the moment you verbalize it may feel a lot lighter. So we are now coming to the methods of coping. There are different methods of coping as well, and we are dividing them into unhealthy and healthy coping. So first of all, unhealthy coping mechanisms are the things that we don't want to do, of course. These includes like using alcohol, drugs, or even smoking to avoid the problem, or like staying away from the problem. So initially when you do this, you may get some relief, or you may feel some relief that like you are avoiding the stress or something, but these will create more stress in the long term, and clearly we don't want that. So then we have the healthy method of coping, which is either trying to change your mood or focusing on solving the problem. So we are going to put our focus here. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a model of stress management, which I call as the 4 A's of stress management. So the 4 A's are avoid, alter, adopt, and accept. So we are going to discuss them one by one. So first we have avoid. So avoid unnecessary stressors. So this includes many things which I'm going to say briefly. First we have saying no. So saying no to unnecessary tasks or any other commitments in your to-do list or in your life, because no one owes you anything and you don't want to create an extra burden for yourself. Second thing is cutting off people who drains your energy. People in your life are meant to uplift you. If they are draining you or putting you down, say bye bye to them and live your own life. Control your environment, it should not be the other way around. So, like, clean your space, organize your Google Calendar or whatsoever, light some sandal candles or agabattis, avoid distractions, like remove any unwanted triggers. All do all of this because the environment you are in should give you peace and calm. It should not trigger you or stress you out. Avoid gossip. So, spreading negative news can only create negativity and it is also a waste of your time and your energy. Why do you do that? Prioritize your days, have your own to do list, schedule your days, and know where your time goes. Then we have the second day, which is alter the situation. With certain people or with certain situations, it is like if you argue more, it will create more stress. So during the situations, let them be and compromise and let them do whatever they want to do. And but there are some other situations where you need to be more assertive. So that those are situations where you need to prove your stand and your boundaries. So you use your logic and act accordingly and don't create any excess stress and think positively. Always try to look at the light, not the darkness. And try to have a work life balance, have your boundaries clear, and have some hobbies. Like, that's what brings fun to your life. Express your feelings because the other person can't read your mind. So always say what you want. Be assertive, as I said earlier. Then we have the third A of stress management, which is adopt. Adopt to the stressor. So sit down and think what you can do and start taking small actionable steps. Always look for solution instead of sitting there and thinking like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What will I do? What shall I do? What should I have done? Just take action. That's all what we can do. And try to reframe your problems as challenges. So try to see them as ways to grow, because if there are no challenges in your life, you will not grow, you will stay stagnant. And practice gratitude because it trains your mind to focus on the good instead of all the chaos that's happening. And the final A of stress management is accept the things that you can't change. Don't try to change the things you can't change. Don't try to control the uncontrollable. Like, some things in your life, we need to let it be, because we can't control every single thing that's happening in your life, and that's okay. That's the beauty of life. Here are some bonus steps that you can do. Like, if you want to do them today, you can do them. So first we have exercise. Move your body. So moving your body releases endorphins, which is known as natural painkillers. These endorphins will bring down the cortisol and the adrenaline level in your body. Learn to manage your time. As I said, avoid all the unnecessary commitments. Stop doom scrolling. Set app limits and like learn different time management techniques, and you will actually feel surprised how much spare time you are left with. Finally, make time for fun and relaxation, both for fun and relaxation. Like, in the category of fun, as I said earlier, have some hobbies like play sports or spend time with your family and friends. In the category of relaxation, like get 8 hours of good quality sleep every single night and like sit down, have some quiet alone time. All of these are necessary because life is a combination of all of this, not only work. I know sometimes things can feel very heavy, and that's okay because life is not predictable, it is not controllable every single time. Like, that's life, that's the beauty of life. If things have been predictable, if they're controllable every single time, what's interesting? Nothing would be interesting. So sometimes we need to let things be, and that's fine. Okay, that's it for today's video. I know there was some background noise, but I tried something very different. It's in front of my hostel. There are so many people watching me, and I tried to film a video in front of everyone as just to practice my exposure therapy, and I'm so glad that I completed filming this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.